Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and completely rewire how you think about self-discipline and success. If you've ever felt like you've got this relentless critic sitting in your head 24/7, just overanalyzing and complaining about every single move you make, well, you are exactly in the right place. Today, we're going to silence that voice and build a true winner mindset. I mean, think about it for a second. Imagine your best friend just bombed a major job interview. You would never look them in the eye and call them useless, right? No way. You'd never tell them they'll never get hired. Yet for some reason, we constantly act like our own worst enemies in our heads. We literally talk to ourselves like someone we hate. It's time to stop beating yourself up and start lifting yourself up.
To do that, we're covering 5 key areas today. We'll bust the inner critic myth, trade shame for real accountability, unlock the power of strategic rest, steal the positive self-talk secrets of Navy SEALs, and finally, rewire you for a winner mindset. Let's get to it.
Section 1. The inner critic myth. Self-criticism is sabotage, not control.
The Bhagavad Gita teaches this fascinating concept. Thinking you're the absolute best or the absolute worst are actually just two sides of the exact same ego coin. When your ego pumps you up and says you're the best, you get complacent. But when it tells you you're the absolute worst, you get paralyzed. You just stop growing. What we actually need is a completely honest, neutral assessment. Basically, you look at the situation objectively to see what you can improve without attacking your core identity.
And Kristen Neff's 2005 research on self-compassion backs this up perfectly. Her study found that students who actually forgave themselves for procrastinating ended up studying way more effectively for their next exam. Meanwhile, the harsh self-critics, they just repeated the exact same negative cycle of failure over and over. The takeaway here is huge. Forgiveness is what actually drives your focus and forward momentum.
Moving on to Section 2, accountability over shame. This is all about changing actions, not identities.
Now, a really crucial point here is Brené Brown's distinction between two totally different emotions. Guilt is simply saying, I did something bad. It recognizes a bad habit or a pattern that you absolutely have the power to change. But shame? Oh, shame internalizes the mistake. Shame convinces you that I am bad, making you believe you're fundamentally broken inside.
Let's look at the real-world effects of this. Guilt actually drives corrective action. Like, if you snap at your partner and feel guilty, what do? You apologize and try to do better. But when you feel shame, when you sit there thinking you're just a horrible partner, you do the exact opposite. You withdraw, you hide, you avoid them, mostly because you just feel so awful about yourself. Ultimately, shame fuels secrecy instead of actually fixing the problem.
Think about a Vegas casino at night. It's all glitz, glamour, and distraction, right? But man, when they flip on those bright overhead lights in the morning, it completely exposes the messy reality of the floor. The spilled drinks, the dropped popcorn, the whole shebang. Stepping out of shame is exactly like turning on those bright lights. It allows you to clearly see what needs to be fixed without hiding away in the dark. We have to move toward the light of accountability.
Which brings us to Section 3. Progress requires strategic rest, or why slowing down actually speeds you up.
As a wise monk teacher once noted, true progress requires going inward. They said, if you want to move 3 steps forward, you have to go 3 steps deep. I love that. It means rest isn't the opposite of progress. Slowing down isn't failing. It's a vital, absolutely non-negotiable part of your success.
For most of us, rest is just something we do when we're completely running on fumes. But honestly, that isn't rest. That's just survival. The highest performers in the world treat rest as a strict strategy. Elite athletes schedule their recovery days just as strictly as their intense training days. I mean, Serena Williams intentionally naps before major matches. You can't wait until you're completely burnt out to finally give yourself permission to stop.
And the science completely backs this up. Matthew Walker's 2017 sleep research proves that deep sleep consolidates learning and vastly strengthens your memory retention. Without it, your performance and creativity literally drop off a cliff. Proper sleep is exactly why you're able to be productive, proactive, and creative the next day. So yeah, sometimes you achieve far more by just seeking stillness.
All right, Section 4, Navy SEAL positive self-talk. Building ultimate mental resilience.
70 to 80%. That is a staggering number, and it represents the dropout rate during Navy SEAL Hell Week. The whole goal of this week isn't just to push the physical body to its absolute breaking point, but to brutally test the mind and the spirit under extreme stress and pure exhaustion.
To put that into perspective, Hell Week is 5.5 days long, and these guys get less than 4 hours of total sleep for the entire week. They're facing constant exposure to freezing cold water, mud, and sand, But here's the truly fascinating part. The candidates who actually survive aren't always the ones with the strongest physical bodies. Nope. They're the ones with the strongest mental resilience, which is completely powered by encouraging positive self-talk. They break that grueling week down into tiny, manageable moments, literally just focusing on getting to the next meal rather than panicking about surviving the whole 5 days. The lesson here is so profound. You do not get stronger by beating yourself down. You get stronger by giving yourself the exact same kindness and encouragement you'd give to someone you deeply love. Think about it. If a Navy SEAL, literally freezing in the mud, relies on positive encouragement to survive, why on earth are you using harsh criticism just to get through a regular workday?
Which leads us perfectly into Section 5, rewiring your winner mindset, embracing the non-linear path.
1,000. Thomas Edison tested over 1,000 prototypes before the light bulb finally worked. Could you imagine if he viewed every single one of those setbacks as a personal failure or some deep flaw in his identity? He would have thrown in the towel after attempt number 10. But he succeeded because he fundamentally understood that progress is never, ever a perfectly straight line.
The reality is, progress and healing are highly nonlinear. Sometimes it looks like 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, and then maybe 4 steps forward. When you're trying to build a new habit and you slip up, that isn't failure, guys. It's just a completely natural step in the stages of change. And once you realize this, you stop turning a single bad day into a bad week, or a bad month, or a bad year. You just dust yourself off and you pick it right back up tomorrow.
But here's the catch. You kind of have to fight your own biology to do this. Your brain naturally suffers from a negativity bias, meaning it weighs negative events 3 to 5 times more heavily than positive ones. We've all been there. 10 people compliment you, 1 person criticizes you, and what does your brain do? It totally obsesses over that one negative comment. So you have to actively train your mind to spot the good and share your wins, to literally rewire that default biological setting. Wayne Dyer famously said, "You don't see things as they are, you see things as you are." This is basically the frequency illusion in action. Gratitude doesn't work because it's some kind of magic spell. It works because when you consciously focus on the positive, your brain actually tunes into a higher frequency. It starts noticing all the positive things that were already right there, just waiting for you to actually see them.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Are you ready to stop punishing yourself and start actually pushing yourself with purpose? You can silence that inner critic right now. Swap out that shame for real accountability and trade that harsh criticism for deep, genuine compassion. Rest strategically, speak to yourself like you're your own best friend, and embrace this messy, totally non-linear journey of growth. If you found this helpful, like and subscribe our channel for more informative